Greetings! Before you watch this video, I recommend taking a look at my binding basics and value converter basics videos. And if you have already watched them, then let's continue. So press F7 to go to backend. And here I want you to take a look at our unlock full method, which is called when we enter or already have a valid license key. Here we change our view right from our backend, here and here. And actually this is wrong, because normally your view should be concerned only with your view and your backend should only be concerned with your logic. And that is what we are going to do today. So let's go to top, and here is our variables and onload region. And before our private members, I want to add a region for public properties. So region, this one. So public properties. And here I will create a new public property of type bool. So public bool. I'll name it is license valid. Getter and setter. And by default it will be equal to false. And let's write a suitable summary for this property. Is the license key valid? Okay. Now we are going to bind to this property from our view. And in order to track changes in this property, we need to inherit our window from an interface called iNotify property changed. Press Ctrl dot and hit enter. And this interface requires the public event, and we are going to write it right now. So here, public event, property changed event handler here, and name it property changed. Sender and close it. So it is absolutely necessary to write this property changed event handler, and it is required by the use of this interface. So let's give it a summary. The event that is fired when any child property changes its value. If you followed Angel 6 tutorials, this description will look familiar to you. And also we will write an additional method to fire this event. So let's write it here. Public void on property changed, and it will have a parameter of type string. Let's write a summary. Again, I took it from Angel 6 basic view model. Call this to fire a, and here we will reference our event property changed event. And the parameter is the name of the property. So here we just access our event property changed, and we pass this and new property changed event args, and in parentheses you type name, and that's it. Now, in order our property to be visible in our view, we need to set the data context. Let's do it at the end of our constructor. So, for example, here we will set data context to this window. So we just type data context equals this. Now back to our unlock full method. Here we can comment this line, but we will remove it later. So we will announce the license key to be valid. So we just change this property, is license valid equals true. And then we fire property changed event. So fire property changed event. And in order to fire it, we call our method. So on property changed. And here we should pass a string, but Angel 6 recommends using name of instead of hard-coded strings. So name of, And here in parentheses, you pass the name of the needed property. So this one is license valid. So here you change your property, and here you notify that it is changed. So now we will change the isEnabled property of these controls with our property. So the isEnabled property of each of these controls will bind to this property. So first our grid presets here is enabled. Instead we use binding and we specify the name of our property here. So this one is license valid. We can check it, and here you see that we bind to the isLicenseValid property, which is true because we have a valid license key, but we still have to change the isEnabled property for these controls because right now they are just set to false, and because we commented this line they are not set to true. So we'll change it right now. So I think here, yeah. So isEnabled, again use binding and our property. Actually, let's copy this. Next, here, and also here, and now our grid is bound to the same isEnabled property, and that's not what we actually want, because we should bind not to the isEnabled property of this checkbox, but rather to its isChecked property. So copy this and paste it here. So let's check it now. Okay. So let's get back to our unlockFull method. Now we can remove this line. But here we have a case where binding alone will not work, as with visibility, because here we first need to convert a value of type bool to a certain value of visibility enumerator, and there are 3 of them, and this is where we can use a value converter. Again, I highly recommend watching my value converter basics video first. So let's comment this line. Now we will create a new converter. So add new class, and let's call it boolean to visibility converter. Converter names are conventionally ended with the word converter. So the first thing you do is you inherit from iValue converter interface. iValue converter here. Press Ctrl dot and implement interface. We will make use only of the convert method. So here we will return visibility, like collapsed or visible, but we will need to base it on the current bool value. So we have a value of object type and we need our value of type bool. So here we convert it to bool and we check if it is true. If it is, we return visibility, press Ctrl dot, hit enter, and we return collapsed, because if our key is valid, we do not need to show our button register anymore. So we set visibility to collapsed. Otherwise, if our bool property is false, we return visibility visible. And that's it. Now you can save it and return to our main window. So before we can use our newly created converter, we need to add a local namespace. So let's copy this one. We'll name it local and just type here your namespace, like bluetimer here, CLR namespace bluetimer. Now in your resources you need to create a new converter. So local boolean to visibility. Next, absolutely necessary, give it a key to use it, and I just usually copy the same name and make it lowercase, like this. Right now it says it does not exist in the namespace and you just need to rebuild your project. Okay, now copy this name and go to your button, and at the end you just need to access its visibility property. So visibility, and here we first use binding. We bind to our property is license valid, like here, but you also use a converter for binding. Converter in curly braces type static resource and choose Boolean to visibility converter, like this. If you start your program now, the button is no longer visible. So we can remove this commented line here. So as you see, binding and value converters save you from redundant coding and help you separating view from code. If you wish more practice with binding and converters, you can try to find and replace everywhere where it is possible, setting values for view in backend with converters. Converters can convert a value of any type to another value of any other type. For example, int to string, enumerator to color, bool to the opposite bool, etc. So this was the last video tutorial on Bluetimer project. Unfortunately, Bluetimer project has not brought me many subscribers, just like the previous pet tutorials. So I cannot invest time in updating Bluetimer even on GitHub. All source code is available on my GitHub repository. The link is in the description. Also, I suppose I will have to decrease the frequency of posting new videos due to the large amount of time it takes to make just one complete video tutorial, and the low number of new subscribers, which by now varies from 0 to 5 from each new video. In the nearest future, I am going to make a new WPF Basics video, and another video which was asked in a comment to the Binding Basics tutorial video. So see you later.